Most of you have probably heard the name R.L. Stine before. Stine is most well known for his wildly successful children's horror fiction series, Goosebumps. With over 300 published novels, R.L. Stine is one of the most prolific and successful children's authors of all time, but many of his works have been overshadowed by the success of Goosebumps. Today, we'll look at some of these seemingly forgotten works. Robert Lawrence Stine was born on October 8, 1943, in Columbus, Ohio. Stine first began writing at the age of 9 and would go on to attend Ohio State University. He graduated from Ohio State in 1965 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English. After graduating college, he created a humor magazine geared towards teenagers called Bananas. The magazine was published by Scholastic Press from 1975 to 1984. Stine released his first horror novel, called Blind Date, in 1986. He would subsequently release several more horror novels titled The Babysitter, Beach House, Hit and Run, and The Girlfriend. Around the same time, Stine worked as a co-creator and head writer for the Nickelodeon children's television series Eureka's Castle, which aired as part of the Nick Jr. programming block from 1989 until 1991. In 1989, Stine began writing the Fear Street books. Unlike the Goosebumps series, the Fear Street series was aimed at a young adult demographic. There have been more than 160 Fear Street novels published since 1989. The Fear Street books are set in the fictional town of Shadyside and feature an array of teenage characters who encounter a variety of paranormal and mysterious entities that stem from the town's cursed history. The first 3 novels in the Fear Street series are The New Girl, The Surprise Party, and The Overnight. Along with the original Fear Street series, several spin-off series were also published, including Fear Street Sagas, Ghosts of Fear Street, and Fear Street Super Chiller. Despite selling 80 million copies worldwide, the Fear Street novels had been seemingly forgotten by today's teenage demographic until Netflix announced the release of a trilogy of Fear Street films produced by 20th Century Studios. The trilogy of films was written and directed by Leigh Janiak and released in 2021 to critical and commercial acclaim. The trilogy is still available on Netflix, and I would definitely recommend checking it out if you enjoy slasher or supernatural horror. Shortly before releasing Goosebumps, Stine also published 3 humorous science fiction books as part of a series called Space Cadets. The books were published in 1991 and 1992. The 3 books in the series are titled Jerks in Training, Bozos on Patrol, and Losers in Space. In 1995, Stine released his first novel targeted at adults titled Superstitious. He would eventually release 3 more novels for adults titled The Sitter, Eye Candy, and Red Rain. Eye Candy would later be adapted as a thriller television series on MTV starring Victoria Justice in 2015. After launching Goosebumps, Stine would go on to work on installments of several different book series throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. In 1999, Stine published a collection of children's horror short stories called The Nightmare Hour. The Nightmare Hour was composed of 10 different short stories and featured illustrations done by various artists. Similar to The Nightmare Hour, Stine began publishing a horror anthology series titled The Nightmare Room in 2000. The series was successful enough to be adapted into a live-action children's horror series that would eventually air on Kids WB from 2001 to 2002. The Nightmare Room TV show was fairly well received and actually featured some well-known actors in early roles, including Amanda Bynes, Frankie Muniz, Drake Bell, Shia LaBeouf, Kaylee Cuoco, and even the legendary Robert Englund. In the early 2000s, R.L. Stine would begin publishing a new series of books titled Mostly Ghostly. The novels would follow the story of Max, an 11-year-old with the ability to see ghosts. Throughout the novels, Max attempts to use his secret ability to try and help the ghosts. 7 books were published in the Mostly Ghostly series, and they were successful enough to spawn 3 film adaptations. The first film, Mostly Ghostly, Who Let the Ghosts Out, was based on the first novel in the series and released on September 30th, 2008, and would later air on the Disney Channel. The second film, titled Mostly Ghostly, Have You Met My Ghoul Friend, was based on the second novel of the same name and released on September 2nd, 2014. It would also later air on the Disney Channel. The final film released in the Mostly Ghostly series was titled Mostly Ghostly, One Night in the Doom House, and was released on September 6, 2016. In addition to the Mostly Ghostly series, Stine also began publishing the Rotten School series in the early 2000s. The Rotten School series follows Bernie Bridges, a 4th grader who lives in a dormitory at Rotten School. Bernie and his pals try to earn money through all sorts of hijinks while clashing with their rivals at Sherman Oaks Boarding School. The Rotten School series leans much more on lighthearted comedy than horror. In total, there are 16 books that were published between 2005 and 2008. In May of 2019, it was announced that a Rotten School animated series would be produced by Splash Entertainment. In addition to his various series, Stine also published 2 novels as part of the Dangerous Girls series. The first novel, Dangerous Girls, was released in 2003, while its sequel, Dangerous Girls: Taste of the Night, was published in 2004. In 2007, a direct-to-DVD movie titled The Haunting Hour, Don't Think About It, starring Emily Osment, was released. The film is based on Stine's 2001 novel, The Haunting Hour, and Stine worked as a consultant on the film. The Haunting Hour novel was then adapted into a spin-off anthology series in 2010 titled R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour. The series would last for 4 seasons and end in 2014. In 2015, Stine would be portrayed by Jack Black in the Goosebumps film. Stine made cameos in both the first and second Goosebumps films. The second film was titled Goosebumps 2: Haunted Halloween and was released in 2018. In 2019, Stine began working on a graphic novel series titled Just Beyond. There have been 4 entries published since 2019, with the latest entry being released in 2021. Notably, the Just Beyond series was adapted into a horror comedy anthology TV series on Disney Plus in late 2021. Throughout Stine's legendary career, he received numerous awards and recognition, including the Guinness Book of World Record for the most prolific author of children's horror novels. Over the course of his lifetime, his books have sold over 400 million copies worldwide. He's been named as America's #1 best-selling author 3 consecutive times by USA Today, and he received the Horror Writers Association Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014. Cementing himself as one of the most successful voices in all of children's literature, Stine's literary works will undoubtedly continue to frighten and entertain generations of children for years to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.